Hey, with my daughter in the background again. Here is a game for you. Um, can I see game time here? No, I cannot. But it's going to go on for a little while. Let's just crack at it. This is a 2v2. Magnus and myself. We're teaming up against randoms at the ranked ladder. We're playing ranked 2v2. It's Wolfhill, so that means lots of relics in the middle, surrounded by wolves. Very hilly terrain, so you can't easily build much in the middle. There's a little bit of gold and stone around the edge of the map, but only small clusters, as you can see, 2-tile clusters. 3 tiles close to people's bases. So you really have to vie for or compete for the relics to get gold late game. Well, actually, it's a 3-tile and a 4-tile. So you have decent gold count in base, but then expansions, it's not much gold to be found out in the map. So you have to, like I said, play for the relics. Okay, I'm Chinese in blue. I think I pulled off a decent start, except that I'm getting housed. I'm not doing very well with the house building in this Chinese start. But that's not really of enormous importance. It's more the grand strategies that are defining this game. Magnus is over here in green, and he plays as the Ethiopians. So good archers and that extra resources upon reaching a new age. Those are pretty sweet bonuses for him. Red, he's Franks, and he will take advantage of his strong food eco and strong night line. So he'll go into knights later. I can give away that much. And yellow, our second opponent, I'm not even gonna give his name a try. He's Japanese. And this player is the one to look out for initially. He is going to do a fast imp, which is initially pretty scary to see that happen, but I don't know if Magnus was thinking the same thing, but at least I knew that when you force an Imperial Age as fast as this guy does, you can't have very much behind it to actually do when you reach Imperial Age. Like, your economy will be too weak. So that is what we are going to take advantage of. But we'll see how things progress here. It's not too much to pay attention to, really, early game. I guess I could have fast forwarded a little bit. It's pretty standard. I think maybe I will up the speed at least until we reach feudal age. Not the best boars up here. Magnus starting some house walling. Can be smart. Bringing on the boar. Pretty good timing on that. And nothing happening so far. Just dark age play. I think we're all aiming towards the higher ages, honestly. The Frank player, let me check him out quickly. He's on 17 vills. Okay, I guess I could just see it here if I do this. Yeah. Okay, so he's a little bit behind in the villager count, actually. I think he will make some scouts in feudal age, so he might do a quick feudal. Magnus getting away with scouting very close to yellow's TC there, so yellow can't be paying too much attention to that. There's a lot of hunt, actually. There's some decent clusters of hunt. Mine is a bit exposed up here behind the slow wood line. So it takes a while until I feel like I can take it, and actually I'm being pressured on this, so it's not so good for me. But some of the other players have them fairly safe. So yeah, I see red takes advantage of that. And let me put it down to normal speed here now, because I'm actually the first one to reach feudal age. Even though I think I'm on a decent mill. Okay, I'm on 25 bills. So it was like a half fast castle is really what I'm going for. I was a little worried that since I'm so close to the Frank player, there might be some scouts. So I wanted to be able to defend myself, though I'm not really, like, I'm messing this up because I didn't have a barracks. My plan was to go a blacksmith stable so I can get some counter scouts, or at least a blacksmith so I could get some, no, sorry, at least a barracks so I could get some spears. But I'm not building that barracks, so I'm just doing blacksmith market to be able to go to Castle Age. Magnus, he is going archers. We decided that he would do archers since he's Ethiopians, and then I'm Chinese, so I can really do whatever. I would go cavalry. Because, well, even though I just get cavalier, Chinese don't get paladin, but full upgraded cavalier works really well, and I think it's better than any alternative, given that the Ethiopians do the archers. Of course, the Chinese can do Chukanu or even Arbalest, but Ethiopian Arbalists are just better. So that's kind of the defining, what defines what units we go for. And yeah, let's have a look at yellow. He's in feudal age now, going. Yeah, what is he doing? Going relatively heavy on gold, 4 on gold, 3 on stone. He's taking his hunt. Like I said, this guy is gonna do a fast Imperial Age. I'm just trying to figure out what he is doing exactly. Okay, here comes the farms. Yeah, because he'll need a lot of food. He is not on his way to Castle Age, is he? No, he's on 33 pop. I think I will pretty much by far be the first one to castle. Yeah, I'm taking this Ibex a bit far away from home. I remember I X'd this area because I told Magnus, okay, he's super open here. He has exposed villagers, red, that is. So if we get some army out, maybe you can get some archers. That's where we should hit. But then I see red has, as I suspected, he has some scout cavalry. As Franks, he's doing... Ooh, am I getting away here? I think I am. He's doing a scout build. Well, I don't know if it's exactly a scout build. I don't think it was like a pure scout build, but he's making scouts at least. And is thinking about putting some pressure on. I think that villager will survive. Yeah. And he will come to me. He's actually getting caught in here. I think that scout will die. Yeah, because I will garrison and kill it. So that's good. One less scout to deal with. And I already have my second town center up. I'm the only player in Castle Age. No one else is even clicking up yet. Of course, for yellow's... in yellow's situation, that's because he is doing the fast imp. But red should probably either attack, which he is doing. But it's a little late by now because I already have my 2 town centers, which cover most of my eco. So I can defend pretty easily by just putting my villagers in these 2 town centers. There's not really that much to hit. And I have a spear out. Well, he should have gotten some hits there. That would have been nice. But does he get 1 vill? No. He gets chased away. He gets a scout, but whatever. No villagers dead. And I have a stable up ready to start making knights. He does cost some idle time, but it's not too bad. The cost of all these scouts is definitely more. Yeah, so they're team walling, but they're team walling with palisades and houses. And given that they are so, they're letting this go pretty far without putting any real pressure on. Like the scouts came in late, and yellow isn't really doing anything. That means that this this game will develop pretty far into the ages before. Oh, that's a dumb villager. I think she'll die. I think she'll die, or maybe not. I would have. Oh, I would have died on her. I think they're not that much value you can get out of these scouts unless they actually get a villager kill. But yeah, what I was saying was they're dragging this game into the castle in Imperial Age before they put pressure on, and that means they are relying on palisades to hold back castle / Imperial Age armies, and that doesn't really work. Palisades, that's only a real value if you keep the game in Feudal Age, really. Okay, so there he is in Castle Age, and let me just look at his... Yeah, so he has decent resources, and it doesn't take him long. I think he forces up a castle. Yeah, he forces up a castle in the middle. So this is a... I like the idea. This is Wolf Hill, right? So you want to take control of the center. And he forces up a castle in the middle, and then... Or he builds a castle in the middle. He has the stone to do it, and... then he has the resources to go Imperial Age, pretty much. Which means I'm kind of thinking the same thing, not the Imperial Age part, but getting a castle in the middle. And I think I soon have the rest for that. Yeah, it's not too far away, so I will actually build a castle, which will just get trebbed down. So in that sense, this is a good play. The problem with this, and what will bite Yellow in the butt, is that when he does this, it's so all in, and he spends so much resources on that Imperial Age tech, that when we put the pressure on, he's not prepared. Because he doesn't have the army to deal with it. Red, like I said, he's going into Knights as well, makes sense, because he's Franks. And, as you see, Magnus doing a really good job. I don't think I gave him enough credit when we were playing, because I was so focused on doing my part and only kind of saw my my villagers are just dying from these wolves. I'm trying to build a monastery. Yeah, but Magnus did a really good job of getting a good ball of spears and archers, and their the continuation of those units, like the upgrades. Ethiopians even get pikemen upgrade for free, right? So that's really nice. And he obviously has to continue to produce pikes because they're the frontline troops. But his archer ball, as far as I remember, maybe it dies once, but most of the game he keeps it alive. And it's so important. We have that advantage throughout the game, that he always has this ball of archers that can deny any area of the map, pretty much. The enemy just can't challenge wherever Magnus is with his archers, because it's such a death ball. The only really safe area for our opponents is where they have the castle. And here, okay, Red is trying to deny the castle, but it doesn't work because I have my knights, some camels, and then Magnus comes in with archers. So this is a fight Red just can't take. Instead, he's trying to put some pressure on me, quite unsuccessfully. And right now, I'm thinking we're in great shape, because I'm looking at the score. We're both on a solid 2400. Red is behind. Not by very much, but quite a lot. What I'm not realizing, though, is Yellow is almost an Imperial Age. Yeah, okay, so Red's getting a few vill kills here, but he's also losing a lot of HP on his army. It's being chased by a superior force of mine. I think I have 1-1, and he only has 0-1, so I'm up on tech. Chinese tech is cheaper too, right? So it's easier for me to get my tech. And yeah, the other players, they're actually in the lead now, even before Yellow hits Imperial Age. So that's a little scary. And there it is. And I'm remembering, I said, whoa, Imperial Age, what's going on? Because we hadn't really seen anything from Yellow except the fact that he had a castle and a monastery and was trying to pick relics. Which he couldn't take too many, right? Because my castle was denying him most of these relics. So I thought we had secured the relics for yeah, pretty much just secure the relics. But then it's Imperial Age, and he's starting to build trebs, and there's nothing we can do about that. We can't afford to waste our army trying to take out these trebs, and it wouldn't make any sense anyway, because we wouldn't have a way to take the castle. We could just make new ones and force us to waste more and more troops. So we just have to abandon this castle. This is a really good decision. This is the first winning decision from us. We don't care about this. Let him do this. Never mind. We can sacrifice the castle. Instead, we break through. This is the paper-thin defense that they have, right? We strike at the weakest point here and just flush into their area. And we know that yellow, okay, he has just spent 100,000 food and 800 gold on Imperial Age. He can't have much when it comes to army. And he really doesn't. I think he has a monk and 2 trebs. That's all he has militarily right now. We can just go right into his base and kill whatever we want. Initially, I'm thinking, okay, we can take down his town center, because then he'll be without town centers, guaranteed. He does not have a second town center, not after that lightning fast Imperial Age, or at least fast. Whether it's lightning fast, I guess, depends who you ask. But I see, okay, it's too much HP on this town center. It won't be worth it. Better to just kill villagers. And here, Red is forced to take a fight, try to save his ally. He walks into lots of Ethiopian pikemen and crossbows. And obviously, his Frank knights die to that. Now, what is Yellow doing? He's building some pikes. Assumably to take on my knights, but the crossbows are here. We'll kill that easily. But he's also building up a serious force of longswords that will accompany these trebs and go offensive with that. So this is, I guess he's going for a base swap here, because I'm taking out all his, or me and Magnus together, we're taking out all his eco. There are some Frankish knights here, but they will again walk into pikes, and I think they will die. Yeah, they're chased off. So the scary part here right now is these long swords. I actually never think they become anything else than long swords. And I think this is such a strange way to do this. Unupgraded long swords. That's his unit choice, along with the trebuchet. Sure, he's Japanese, so they hit faster. But you're in Imperial Age. Get some upgrades and maybe try to get champion. I assume that was his idea, but then we're wrecking his eco. So he just feels like he has to attack. The problem with this is that these units are not very strong. Against, just compare the stats. 60 HP, 9 attack, 12 attack, 100 HP. Sure, knights are more expensive, but not that much more expensive. At least not in food. So I don't know if this attack is even worth it. This is so much value. Better to hide these guys in the corner, maybe? And some way get enough resources to get to upgrades and champion. Because I can dive on these trebs now. Sure, he takes out my town center, but he's losing a lot of values. And these swordsmen, they just can't defend his trebs against my knights. It's a good ball here, so they will probably win, but the trebs go down in the meantime, though. Meanwhile, Red is starting to get a good ball of knights at this point. So Magnus's pikes are starting to get overwhelmed, and they are actually being forced out of Yellow's base. I've put up a sneaky TC up here, and I'm stealing Red's closest neutral gold, while also putting pressure on him a little bit, just to freak him out. The trebs are still doing work, I have to give them that, and the swords are annoying. So okay, they are doing work, I have to admit it, but they could have been much more effective if they had had some upgrades. Like when they're actually taking fights with the knights, they do so poorly. Sure, there are many of them, but imagine if they were upgraded. And imagine if I used my units a little bit better. Yeah, he's streaming these longswords across, and they're being picked at this point. The danger is coming from red, because he has a dangerous ball of knights at this point that I, with my kind of hammered, or not hammered, but beaten eco, I will struggle to deal with that. Magnus, in the meantime, he's being pressured by a few trebs, or one treb and a few longswords, but he has been rebuilding army. So he is by far the strongest play right now. Nothing can really challenge this ball of pikes and crossbows. His TC goes down, but that's easily replaceable. Here, I have to take a fight. I think, yeah, I have upgrade advantage, but he has the numbers. So I'm going to lose this fight, which is unfortunate because these knights do a lot of damage to my base after they defeat my army. And I just have to wait for Magnus to arrive and save me. I'm trying to still defend myself, but I should have saved up my forces at this point, definitely. I'm trying to do that. I think I'm trying to back off and save up a ball. But I think he's also producing... Yeah, he's also producing a new gang of knights. And here he's doing damage. Getting lots of free damage on that camel. Might even kill it. Yeah, he's killing it. That's annoying. Yellow, he has been clearing up relics here, getting it back to his monastery. So he's getting a lot of gold right now, and they have really nice scores. At this point, it looks pretty bad. Magnus said after the game that he was ready to call it. I think this is... Oh, nice quick wall there. I think this is where it was at the bleakest. Oh, I wish I had trapped these guys. They would have been completely wrecked by Magnus's army. But I think Magnus is actually getting an engagement here because red is not paying attention. I also don't think Magnus has... Does he have a... He has a university, so he probably has ballistics then. Okay, I managed to get some hits in here. Okay, so... Red is being chased away. And actually runs into a superior knight force of mine here. So that's good. I really have to get my eco back in order. I have 8 idols. Was actually not too bad after that engagement. But what we're thinking now, okay, so we stabilized, kind of. A new attack is coming in here, but I just have to let this town center buy time. What's our plan? We chase down Red's first army, and then I think we've already started thinking about putting pressure in the middle. Because we know that the relics will... Oh, this is nice. I didn't realize this is what happened here. But yeah, Magnus is coming in and saving the day here. Saving my TC. We need the middle, because this is a map with not very much gold, so you need the relics. It's kind of like Golden Pit, just relics instead of gold. Or Gold Rush, rather, since it's on a hill. We cleared up both of Red's armies. He is starting on a third. And he has some guys up here, shielded behind the yellow castle. But so, how do we push? How do we push into the middle? We can't afford Imperial Age. And we have no castles anyway, so we can't afford both Imperial Age and getting a castle with trebs. So, we just have to do a ram push. Ram pushes are... It's a high investment. It's a costly investment that sometimes do not pay off at all, right? Because you have to time it correctly. You have to make sure you have the units there to protect the rams. Sometimes it just flops completely and you lose all the rams, and that's a lot of value, and it's a disaster, and you lose the game. But it's worth the risk, I think we conclude. I built the siege workshop a little bit far back, but I'm trying to push out some rams. First one's coming here. I'm strapped for gold though. I think these guys are still working, and I have a few here. I don't remember if I have any more. No, I think those are my only gold mines. So yeah, I'm struggling with gold. But our big strength here is the fact that Magnus has so many units. He has top score, and our opponents just can't challenge this. It's a huge army. Yeah, I just had to ride my knights. They were caught out by the red knights. I just wanted to get max value by trying to hide in a pocket like this and force red to fight one-on-one as much as possible. And also to get his knights away so that they will have a long way back when they realize that we're pushing. And that actually works out pretty well, I think. He's already on his way back because he realizes things are going on here, but I don't think his main cavalry force will get back in time. Actually, he's moving down here to put pressure on this TC, but that is... I just abandoned this. I don't even care, because the gold is gone. So, whatever. He can do that if he wants. The battering ram is coming up. This is not a very good approach, but I think I sneak in here. Yeah, I just get in time with my knights to block off the red knights, and they all die, and it is a successful ram push. So ram gets up to the walls of the castle, and so does all our melee units. There's a second ram on the way, and this castle will go down. This is extremely important, because this means that we have gold once we take control of this area, because he has assembled all the relics in this monastery for us. Take down that monastery, we have the gold, they don't. They have a decent army down here, red does, and he's systematically going through, destroying my stables and everything, and he will soon crush into my base. And at this point I realize, okay, I can't hold my base. I have to relocate, but I can build a monastery and pick up all these relics in the middle, and that is the most important thing. There's lots of wood everywhere on this map. So wherever I build a base, it doesn't matter, there will be wood there, and obviously I can farm. So it's control of the relics that is really important. We've all reached, well actually, Magnus is on his way to Imp now. The rest of us, we are in Imp. Red is having Cavalier, same with me, but he has way more than me. But as you can see, we fight together. Magnus and I, we fight together. So we are always taking better fights. Because we always have a counter. I guess I should just try to get away with my Cavalier here instead of trying to take fights. And I should have ran earlier, because I have already realized at this point that I will have to abandon my base. So I should just have evacuated and gotten away with way more builds. But I think I'm also... Yeah, Magnus is... This is what I thought of earlier when I said maybe he loses his army once. Actually, he's just losing a small contingent here, because he sends a bit of crossbows down to try to help me, but it's not enough, so they get wrecked by the Cavalier. But that's alright. This is actually... Well, it's a big loss to lose all this eco. But it's also keeping red busy doing that, so we can run in and completely destroy yellow. We're taking out his TC at this time with the rams, and these Ethiopian crossbows can just, in hyper speed, mow down his villagers. So it's essentially a trade. Red takes my eco out, and yellow gets wrecked by the both of us. I don't quite remember how long it takes until I managed to re-establish myself. Yeah, I pull these out, trying to get away with them. This is actually what I have to say is my worst play this game. That is how I'm not able to escape with hardly any of my eco. of my villagers, even though it was long announced that it would be attacked. So this is quite terrible. Fortunately for us, we are able to... Oh yeah, this is nice. Red is starting to build skirms because he realizes that the Ethiopian crossbow is the worst threat to him right now. But I get in the middle of those skirms with my cavalier and do terrible damage. And then I managed to lure the few cavalier from red still left up here around, so they die, and then I get back in among the skirms and just wreak complete havoc. Yellow is reestablishing down here. He realizes he needs a new base, and I also lure a villager up here. They're super close to red cavaliers, but I'm thinking about reestablishing in yellow's old base because I see he still has gold left. In the meantime, we're just putting pressure on red, killing all the units that come out here from his ranges before they can do any damage. And I'm building some more siege because I realize we need siege to really kill red. That's our plan here now. Our long-term plan is just kill red because we already killed yellow. Sure, he's reestablishing a base down here, and we kind of realize that he is, but he's so far behind that we're thinking it's red's time to feel some pain. Oh, that's annoying that that goes down. And yellow, he's going with the Treb and some elite skirms. The problem with this army is that it's very easy to counter. Sure, the Ethiopian player here, Magnus, he is struggling a bit to counter this because he only has pikes and archers, but I only need to send a handful of knights, and then all of this is toast. And that's also what I do. Yeah, these guys, I think they are on the way down. Yeah, I think so. And how is my eco doing? I think terrible. Yeah, 12 villagers, and they're not even all working. Well, one idle. These guys have been left alone, actually, so they're still mining gold for me. And we haven't advanced very far into Red's base. We've been kind of working hard on taking down his ranges and fighting off a lot of skirms up here. And see here, my cavalier arrived, and yellow is forced to back off, and he will lose both his trebs. He's doing some damage in the meantime, but it costs him more than it benefits him, I think, to do this. Trebs are expensive, losing them is not good. And he also lost a lot of skirms. And pikes, they're not terrible to take out skirms once they get up close. So, yeah, there's still some army up here, but we will manage. Oh, red is also sending trebs. Extreme emphasis on trebs from these two players. But trebs don't really win wars alone. Up here, I'm starting to assemble quite a lot of cap rams to take down all the infrastructure I can. Don't really have to take out farms, but okay. And we're pushing on. We're denying a castle from red. That's good. And just putting pressure on red's eco. I think I'm realizing that I have to take these rams and push red with them soon. Okay, putting some pressure on yellow first. I think right now we're a bit confused about what we should do. Well, this is good, taking out a lot of yellow's stuff. Yeah, I'm trying to push this castle, but the problem here is I'm right next to 4 barracks that can spam halbs, plus there are coming halbs from over here, so I'm forced to retreat. Yeah, too many halbs. I just have to abandon the rams to the halbs and get the cavalry out of here. The cavalry are too valuable, so that's a bit annoying. I should have moved up on red earlier, but I think now once that happened, I realized, okay, this castle is up. I have to get the rams up to red to support Magnus's push on red. Oi, what are these guys doing down here? That's a waste. This guy... Yeah, I'm realizing this poses a threat to my gold miners, so I'm walling them in. That's good. So my base is pretty much abandoned. There are a few villagers here and there still doing work. These guys are very important, actually. Very valuable that they're still alive. Yellow is able to do wood cutting up here. That won't last forever, but for now he's safe. So it's a bit slow right now. Not that much going on. Minor skirmishers up here, killing off these skirms. And I think the rams will go for the castle first. That's the way I remember it. Yeah, just fighting under the castle here, it's worth it. Because I have a lot of rams coming, so I'll take this castle down. And yeah, these archers are actually fighting the TC, that's not good. Yeah, I don't know if you paid attention to the score, but we've taken score lead. That's because of Magnus. He has so much army in these arbalists sitting here. And he has a lot of kills. A lot of kills. Yeah, the castle is going down. Nothing he can do against all these capped rams. So that's good, and his ranges are gone. Meanwhile, yellow has a TC up here, taking his gold. That's smart to expand to up here. Plus, he is putting pressure on Magnus's expansion over here. He has had to abandon his base. These red trebs actually did survive, and has wrecked Magnus's base, but he has built a new one over here. And it's just pumping out units from here, kind of keeping yellow busy. Taking out that treb is probably smart, actually, just to make the destruction of his production buildings go a little slower. But in the meantime, the important part here is we are wrecking Red's base. All of Red's production is going, and his eco is also in trouble very soon. There, I've established myself in Yellow's old base with a new TC, so this will actually be my main base for the rest of the game. And this is just like a production fest, killing fest. Yellow and green just trading units, trading attention. Probably a better fight for yellow than for green, considering he's fighting under his castle, but this is mostly just to keep yellow's attention, honestly. Oh, look at this. So much better armor for the Arbalest. When the Arbalest wins one-on-one against the Skirm, that's not good. That's not good for yellow. Obviously, it helps to be a Ethiopian, to have the faster firing. That's a lot more damage output, but still, a Skirm really should win against an Arbalest. Goes to show how important it is to put armor on your skirmishers if you're playing skirmisher. Okay, so now, yeah, I've realized yellow's wood eco is up here, so just sent 2 cavaliers, take it all out. And now we are putting pressure on red's eco. I needed the arbalests here to take out these villagers. And I'll probably also wait for a bit more cavalier so we can challenge the skirms. Do I have any cavaliers on the way? A few. This is honestly enough to take out all these skirms. See, it's pretty slow right now. Villagers, no one has more than 50. Red has 49. And military, not any high counts. Really, Red has all these skirmishers, so that's his 46. They're pretty much right here, 30, yeah. And then it's Magnus, always keeping a big army count. These arbalesters, so strong. Skirmisher, only 1 armor, so yeah, they die really fast to the arbalests and definitely to the Cavalier. Now the Ram can come back in. We can get this town center. And we're just starting to wrap up Red's base from here. I think I have some more Rams on the way soon. I have one sitting there. I hope I send that up. Yeah, there's no way to stop this. Skirms are forced out, have to fight. Really quickly, dying to this. And they're even focusing on the capped ram. Down here, it's just a slug. Keeping yellow busy, while Magnus is also doing a great job making things happen down here to annoy yellow, plus continuing the march up into red territory up here. So at this point, we're pretty confident. We're realizing that these guys don't have very much to answer what we're doing to them. If they had, they would have shown their hand by now, because they're losing too much. They're forced up in the corner here. This is where their ecos exist, really. Not much left down here for yellow. And I haven't really talked about this, but we have all the relics. I don't remember exactly when this happened, but we have secured the relics. So our gold count is pretty good. 800 for me. Magnus, I don't think he has quite as much. There. Okay, he has a lot more in the bank. I don't think his income is quite the same, but I've been selling off. I think I have a market. Yeah, I built a market up here to be able to sell off gold and re-boom, pretty much. Plus make siege and cavalier. So that has become my role here. Make the cavalier to counter the skirms and make siege to take down enemy bases. It's kind of slow right now, but we I don't know what's going on right now. I think someone's on. Hang on, I'll pause briefly. I think someone's on Discord. No? Not sure what's going on right now. Let's see. Hey.
Hey.
What's up?
Hey, what's up?
So I'm making...
Er du super live?
Ikke super live, men jeg driver og lager en recording av et game som jeg og Magnus spilte I går. Men det straks ferdig, så jeg tilbake om 5 min.
Ok. Alright.
Okidoki. See ya.
See ya.
Alright. Back in the action. Is OBS good? Yeah, OBS is good. Alright. So, we're just pushing from here on out, pretty much. I keep trying to boom a little bit, get the eco back up and rolling. I'm up to 16 villagers, so I haven't really had the resources to make very much more eco. Maybe I should have focused a little bit more on that, but I think I did the right thing, because I've kept the Cavaliers coming out, and they have been important to be able to push to counter the skirms, and also more effectively kill all the eco, even though the Ethiopian Arbalests really do a super job of killing villagers as it is. So it's mostly as a skirm counter. I think we were a bit more afraid of the skirms than we really had to be. I didn't realize in-game that they didn't have armor. If they had had full armor, they would have posed a significant threat to the Arbalestiers, but with no armor, Ethiopian Arbalests really dominate skirms because of their fire rate. Down here, okay, the Trebs have come, and they've actually pushed into Magnus's base here now. Yeah, Magnus has tried to reestablish here. So Magnus is being seriously pushed. And he doesn't really have much eco at all, I think. Villagers, 13. Yeah, so he's doing better than Red at this point, because Red has lost everything. Everything died up here. So Red is pretty much out of the game at this point. He has barracks, but that's it. So Red is dead. I think he has enough in the war chest still, though. There's a lot of wood. I don't know what he does, if he balances his eco with the market, or if Yellow sends him resources. I actually don't think it's either. I think Red is out. He's just watching at this point. Yellow, though, he does have a bit of army. It's some skirms, some pikes, and the siege. Yeah, that's what Red has. He has the trebs. So he is responsible for their siege, I guess. They're focusing on everything here, just total annihilation of everything. Maybe could have put the trebs to a bit better use. Yeah, so Red, 2 villagers, Yellow, 7 villagers. We're not that much higher, but there's a significant difference between 2 and 7 and 22 and 11 on the other side. And importantly, I have 10 relics, I think, and Magnus has okay, 5. So that gives a decent income of gold, which is really what we're surviving on here. Quite appropriately, I guess, in a game that is about relics. Yeah, with this barrack going down, I don't think Red has any more. Okay, he has a market up there, so I guess he did No, he hasn't rebalanced yet. He just spent some of that wood to build a couple of markets. I don't know why he... Oh, that's the town center. Okay, so yeah, so he's trying to reboom. Are we catching him out here? No, we're just moving on. Okay, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, that's Red flaring down here saying you can rebuild here, I guess. To his ally. I want to go back to my point of view. Or maybe that's annoying because I will be constantly attacked down here. So let's just go to Magnus. Yeah, Yellow is trying to flee down here to rebuild. He still has some builds. I don't think they really realize how bad it is eco-wise. They must realize militarily because they see our armies attack them all the time. And the ram train is coming. We'll wreck this. And I actually think at this point we can speed it up a little bit because it's getting close to the end here. Red actually manages to establish here. It's going down. That's dangerous. But okay. Yeah, so we're wrecking this. It goes pretty fast. And as I can start a bit of an epilogue, like I said, this is getting close to the end. We have a big army, and we always maintained a big army. That is, Magnus always maintained a big army. His Arbalest Ball never died. Extremely important. Also, the fast imp, probably not the best idea. I realized that was their strategy, and they tried to base what they did on that. If Yellow had just had a few more minutes, maybe 5 more minutes, to really get his eco or his imperial tech more into play, it would have been super dangerous, and they probably would have won. But the fact that we turned around and went straight to Yellow's base when we realized that he was imp and was about to pose a serious threat meant that Yellow really never had the ability to take advantage of his imp. Let's go normal speed here. Okay, see the pikes. retreat, split my cavalry force, making sure the pikes get killed by the Ethiopian crossbows or arbalests, swing around, flank the skirms and the trebs, whilst everything is being hunted down by these deadly Ethiopian machine gun arbalests. And that's a battle worthy of ending this game. So it's obviously over. Our opponents have nothing left, and there's the GG. Quite a fun game. We thought we were dead at least 1 point each. I think I thought we were dead when I was near death, and Magnus thought we were dead when he was near death. But we were actually never really near death. Well, that's actually a lie. We were near death, both of us at one point. But I guess our opponents didn't really realize it, or they didn't have the resources and military power either to really bring it home and end the game. And in the end, they suffered from not playing for the middle enough. Right? They gave up the relics. Or maybe you could say they were forced away, but they could have focused more on just holding the middle instead of absolutely being so hellbent on going for our bases. They wrecked our bases several times over without really getting enough back from those encounters. I forgot to show you, but there's one point where Red ran all his cavaliers, the force that had just wrecked my base, just went over to Magnus's base to do the same thing, but there the Ethiopian Halbs were waiting, and he lost everything. And at that point, Yellow didn't really have much either, because he had just been attacked by our Imperial Age force, where we took down Yellow's town center. And at that moment, I think where the game was really sealed. And if we just didn't mess up intensely, it was pretty much in the bag for us. Because we had the relics, control of the relics. We had army, they didn't. We had taken out one of their bases. I had lost mine, but I was in the... I was about to rebuild. And yeah, everything was really in our advantage at that point. So, two things to learn from this. If you are going to fast imp, make sure your teammate can protect you, so you don't get overwhelmed and can't take advantage of your fast imp, because you can't defend yourself if you go fast imp on an open map. Actually, the takeaway should probably be don't do a fast imp on an open map. And secondly, if you're planning on a team wall and spend a lot of resources on walling, you can't just palisade wall and then not do anything in feudal age, because then you're taking the game to castle age, and then your team wall is useless, because palisades is useless in castle age. And third, don't give up your gold control. Whether it's the gold mines in the middle or it's the relics, it's tough to win a game without gold, especially a messy game like this where you can't even trade. So that's it. Oh, by the way, one more thing. Upgrade your skirmishers. Give them armor. Alright, that was it. Hope you enjoyed the game, and I will probably be back in not too long with another, whether a live game or a recording. So stay tuned for that. Bye.